algorithms? Because isn't most of this suppression done through algorithms, or am I incorrect?
Yeah, I think in terms of content moderation, I'm not really the expert here, but it is true that a lot of the content suppression does happen through algorithms, and it also like is influenced a lot by individual decisions made by these high-level executives who have very close ties to the military-industrial complex, to the American, intelligence industry, to the Israeli intelligence industry. So it's kind of it's a self-fulfilling cycle of these personal biases, these personal relationships interfere and kind of inform these algorithms, which are then continue the cycle of suppression. But on the point of algorithms, I think I want to point out also like a very, very dangerous trend that is happening as well of algorithms being used and machine learning and artificial intelligence being used not only to suppress content, but to effectively become weapons in their own right and to target and kill the Palestinian people in Gaza, to be used to commit the genocide in Gaza. Um, the Israeli tech industry and the Israeli military in particular has become a pioneer in developing killing machines that use algorithms, that use artificial intelligence to accelerate and empower their war machine, so that we are in fact living in the world of the world's first AI-assisted genocide. They have developed systems such as the Gospel, Lavender, Where is Daddy? These systems basically empower the Israeli army to classify the Palestinians as terrorists, to target them when they're at their most vulnerable in their homes with their families, to track them wherever they are across the entire Gaza Strip. There are algorithms that track Palestinians in the West Bank that enforce the apartheid system that allows only Palestinians to use certain roads, things that they are permits that they have to apply for to even move freely between towns to go in and out of the West Bank. All of that is really empowered by technology. And the truly scary part of this is that all the major American cloud companies, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, are deeply critical to that infrastructure, providing cloud services, storage services, artificial intelligence services, without which the Israeli military would not have been able to be as effective, because the Israeli military itself just doesn't have the in-house power to store all this like treasure trove of data that they collect on Palestinians, to have the processing power needed to have these really advanced AI systems that they use to target the Palestinians. So there's this really, again, scary dystopian like video of an Israeli colonel talking about how they have basically been able to use what they call civilian clouds, such as Google Cloud and Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, to effectively construct a weapons platform, to effectively treat cloud as a weapon in its own right. And they kind of flaunt and brag about how critical these companies have been. And this is a big part of the reason why they have been suppressing this content, both internally and externally, because it's in their business interest that Israel is not seen as an apartheid state committing a genocide. It affects their bottom line, because they are personally have become, the tech industry as a whole has become, the military industrial complex of this century.
Yes, you raise a very important point. The magazine 972 in Israel, which has done good work on this, but they talk about how those AI systems actually speed up the ability, because it's the AI that's picking the targets. So in fact, they're carrying out targeted assassinations and bombings on a much faster rate, but it's all machine driven. I want to talk, Saima, a little bit about, before we get into your personal experiences, the fusion in the Twitter files that Matt Taibbi wrote about. He talks about the close relationship that these companies have with the FBI, with Homeland Security, and how that they're how they control content by hiring employees directly from these domestic intelligence agencies. I mean, the Twitter files, I think, exposed the complete fusion between the national security state and these companies. Maybe, Saima, you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So as I had mentioned about one of the biggest policies being the DOI policy, the dangerous organizations and individuals, and that is directly impacted by, American government informed intelligence. And the second piece is about how these tech companies, not just Meta, but all these tech companies, there's a pipeline from this Unit 8200 that I mentioned, which is the CIA of the Israeli government, how these tech professionals are taking on leadership roles at these tech companies. And it is that continuation of ties between these private tech companies and the Israeli government that is problematic. In terms of American intelligence, I'm not sure, I don't know if I can speak to individuals that are being sourced that way, but I do know that there is collaboration with these tech companies and the US government. For example, Meta recently revealed that their AI technology, Llama, which is open source, they recently released that they are going to allow the US government to use that technology, that they are going to collaborate with the US government to um, to really utilize this technology to benefit Americans. And it is forbidden to use this AI technology by any other government in the world, which again, when we talk about digital colonialism and this power over the global South, that is what the problem is. The biggest technology companies of our time are all American based, and they are seeking to work with the American government to continue keeping the US as a superpower at the hands of all of these other companies that it needs to exploit and keep suppressed.